everybody, welcome back once again to Let's Play Motorsport Manager with the Phoenix Knights Racing Team. Yes indeedy. I'm feeling in a particularly good mood today, I don't know why, but I just am. So let's make the most of it and get stuck into another session. So as we left off last time, we had a pretty decent race in Australia. We picked up, was it 2 points? Sirikov getting, yeah, there we go, 2 points for Sirikov. Not too shabby at all. So that was not too bad. Some good strategy calls in variable weather. We move on to Rio de Janeiro, the penultimate race of the season, hoping to continue that run of good form. We've picked up points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the last 6 races. I can't speak. 5 of the last 6 races we've picked up points. So we're going to hope to continue that trend. Yes, indeed. All right, so we are as we left off last time. So there may be some stuff to do on camera, such as designing a new. Oh no, we're not going to design any more new parts because we are going to. That's it. This is the last rear wing that we are constructing, and then we are not going to be building anything else after this. Although, yeah, so it's going to be a very short pre-race session. Looks like we've got a sponsorship slot to fill. Talk about Wexler retiring. What would he do? He drives, of course, for Scuderia Rossini and, if I remember rightly, was interested in joining us because we kind of buttered him up a little bit, didn't we? We kind of buttered him up. Does that still stand? Yeah, still stands. But look at that. Due to the fact that he's 33, he was a 5-star driver. He's gone down to 4-star. Could be due to a trait. House fire. Yeah, that's knocked him for 6. -1 to everything. Because he's lost everything in a house fire. How awful. No wonder he had a bad race in the last race. We noticed that he was down the pack. That's probably why. It makes sense now. He had his house burnt down. Not good. Okay, moving on to brighter pastures then. The next race, engines and suspension and rear wing are crucial. Our engine that we are using is already at 100% reliability. Okay. What else did I say? Suspension and rear wing. Let's have a look here. So the rear wing is 93. The suspension is 8. Oh, the suspension is the lowest. So what we're going to do, actually, is we are going to just focus on the engine on its own. I'm getting confused. We're just going to focus on the suspension on its own to get that to around about 90% if we can. Every other part that we're using, that's at 90, that's above 90, that's above 90, they're at 100, they're at 100. So yeah, just increase the suspension reliability if we can so that we can do a bit more weight stripping to assist us. Okay. So there we go, the rear wing has now been designed. We will not be designing any more parts. So all the parts that we have on our car right now will be taken forward next season. So we can see that the suspension is the best in the business. We've got some decent rear wings. Not the best in the business, but they should be competitive. They're going to be round about the average. We'll see the graphs in a minute. The gearbox, of course, still got a little bit to do to improve the performance to maximum on the gearboxes. And on the engine, still a bit more work to do. So let's just take a quick look then at the situation. 15 days after the race, the engines and the gearboxes will be maxed out. So that's literally going to coincide with the last race of the season. There or thereabouts. So it's going to be timed up to perfection. As we look to the car, let's have a look at that. So as we've seen before, these are still increasing, but not going to increase much more than that. That is great. That is above average. These are poor, but these are what we will be working on next season as a priority to bring them up to speed. And maybe even to help us with that, we might focus on actually building the relevant building for the HQ that gives us epic parts for these components here, just to boost the performance levels. So another race goes by. I'm just going to check in once again with Paddy Lock. Still 2 months, okay. And the race mechanic, he's still out of contract. Still interested, probably. Okay, just keeping an eye, keeping a very close eye. Right, sponsor slot 3. Sponsor slot 3. So we've got Nippon, who are 10th or above. We have Acus that are 6th or above. So this is going to be one of the big positions, 1st to 2nd, isn't it? Yeah, 1st to 2nd. We're not going to get 1st to 2nd. We're not going to try to get 1st to 2nd. So we're not going to be using this sponsor during the race itself. So we just want the upfront money. And therefore, 1 million up front sounds good to me. A little bit of extra coin in the bank balance. Always, always most welcome. We've sorted the pit crew out. We have had to put in some people that aren't necessarily the best at these respective positions, but the stamina of these guys has just plummeted rapidly, which makes them more prone to making a mistake. If you look at the mistake percentage, the more fatigued somebody is, the more likely they are to make a mistake. 8% chance of a mistake for these two. Didn't want to take the risk given our track record with pit stops, and when mistakes happen, tends to be at critical times. Right, we're going to blast forward. The race is looming here. Holtz is retired. Did I say that Holtz was retired? Did I read that correctly? We're on target, no problem. There's a question mark at the end of it. Is Nina Holtz retiring? How old is she? She's 35. God, she's an old timer. She should be retiring, certainly. Tell Kimi Räikkönen that. Moving swiftly on. Rio de Janeiro, yes, deceleration. Yes, I agree, Sirikov. Our brakes are rubbish. Yeah, I agree. We can go in a straight line, we can turn corners, but we just can't brake. Where's the danger in any of that, I ask you? We are also scouting new drivers. There are several drivers who are out of contract. Possibly new drivers that we didn't know about before. So we are scouting a few of these guys just to see if there are hidden gems anywhere that we need to take heed of, take stock of. We'll focus on that once Sundin's contract runs out, which is not until next season, of course. Unless she's going to turn around at the end of the season and give us a shock and say she's retiring now. You never know, do you? You never know. Right, race weekend is here. Preview bites. We don't need any preview bites. We just need to dive on in. That's what we need to do. Right, it's a relatively long lap. 17 laps. Three stints, of course. So we're looking around about 5-6 lap stints there or thereabouts. Softest tyre compounds possible. So all that needs to be taken into consideration. So I certainly don't think Sundin's going to be able to use the ultra soft very much, judging by the last race. So I'm going to give her just the 5. I think super softs will be the main tyre. I really do. So I'm going to go for 7 of them. And 3. 5, 7, 3 for her. I'm going to go a little bit more for Sirikov. As explained before, he can get a bit more life out of his tyres. So I'm going to go for 6, 6, 3 for Sirikov. So see you at qualifying. A dry qualifying for once. Makes a nice change. So that gave us the opportunity to give Sundin and Sirikov a decent run and see what they could do, turning up all the dials to maximum, and they still couldn't get in the top 5. But never mind. They were on the slightly harder compound than the Ultras, of course, but practice times don't mean anything, do they? It's just a bit of fun. Once you've got your car set up, of course, which we have. So qualifying, it looks like it's going to be a dry affair, so we will actually simulate this qualifying rather than taking it. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be bone dry. So for Sunday, it's the usual. Because we only have 10% qualifying trim, I'm going to use the 15% Ultrasoft tyre performance instead, and Super Overtake mode. For Sirikov, he doesn't have a choice. Ultrasoft and qualifying trim for him. And the car setups have been done, the weight stripping has been done. There is nothing left for us to do other than go to qualifying, let's simulate the session and keep our fingers crossed that we can qualify in a relatively decent position, preferably above 10th so we get our sponsor objective, but I don't think that's going to happen. We usually qualify around about 12th and 16th, so this looks to be something quite similar. Sundin's 13th, Sirikov is 18th. That's about right. That's about right. It's about roughly where we would expect to qualify. Sundin, of course, always got that super overtake mode, so that's why she's out qualifying Sirikov. If we do the season comparison at the end of this race, we'll do a stats comparison between Sundin and Sirikov to see who's had the better season. I think we know who it's going to be, but it'd be interesting to compare. It'd be interesting to see. So there you go. Let's have a look at the top 10, and it's the usual 5 teams in there. It's Scuderia Rossini, it's Diamond, it's Panther, Kitano, and Windsor. Roughly, there's no real shocks there, I wouldn't have thought. Scuderia Rossini on pole. Alright. Nothing out of the ordinary. Pressure is on us, apparently. I don't think so. I don't think so. There's no pressure. When you come into a series expecting to be relegated, which I'm sure a lot of people expected us, I mean, Potter didn't expect it. He knew we were going to perform well. He had confidence in his team, but the general consensus was, oh, they've just come up from the Asia Pacific Cup. They're going to struggle. There's no expectations on them. You know? So there's no pressure in those situations, is there? What am I doing? Yes, that's right. I'm looking at the car setup. Yes, we're trying to ascertain what we're going to be doing with Sundin and Sirikov. So 17 laps. So we're looking at 2 6s and a 5. 2 6s and a 5. Now her tyres on the Ultras, she only has 2 sets of Ultras because of the fact that we simulated qualifying and therefore we've burned through a couple of sets of Ultras in qualifying. However, she can only do 5 to 7 laps on these tyres, which means that at the very most she'll be doing 5. So we're looking at either 2 Ultras and a soft or 2 softs and an Ultra. I would reckon it's more likely to be 2 softs and an Ultra. What I'm going to do is start on the softs so that we can judge the tyre wear situation with a more conservative tyre to start with, and then we can use a second and third stint on the Ultras if the tyre wear is favourable. So we'll do the longest stint on the super softs, aim to try and get 6 laps out of this at the very least, which you should be able to do. So 6 laps, which means 7 laps of fuel, that's fine. Yeah, that seems reasonable to me. So looking at that then, that will affect what kind of knowledge we give her. Sirikov, however, he's got more favourable, an extra set of tyres. Of course, we give him 6 sets, so he can do 6 laps on these probably comfortably, which means that we should be able to make it 3 Ultra stints for him. So starting on a set of Ultras, we'll bring him in on lap 5 for his first stop, and then do 2 6s, so that we're not clashing with Sundin. So 6 laps of fuel, 5 laps, come in, change the tyres, and off we go again for Sirikov. So in terms of the actual knowledge then, I think we're going to go conservative with Sundin, just and go for the super soft rather than the ultra soft performance, and race trim, and we'll go for the Ultras and race for him. I got a feeling she's going to have to do two super soft stints rather than 2 Ultras, so we'll go with that in terms of the knowledge, with that kind of plan in mind. Pushing the tyres, overtake mode for the engines. It's a short race, so we don't have to worry about the condition of the car too much, so we can push quite hard for long periods of time. With that in mind, let's hit the grid. We've seen the grid. We're just going to dive straight in. Here we go. The lights are on. 4, 5. And we're off, and it's a slow start for Sundin. Surikov got off the line well, but he got bogged down behind another vehicle. He didn't manage to get past, but he's slingshotting round. His momentum carried him forward. He's up into 17th. Or is that where he started? I think he's where he started, but he's now up into 16th, and he's still looking pretty dangerous as he's carving his way through the field. Right on the back of Flores here. Sundin is just cruising around nicely in 13th. He's just like out for a country drive, really. Just kind of chilling in the pack. Chilling in the pack and just going along nicely. Oh. Couldn't quite get make it stick with the Oster. Don't start going backwards, Sundin. Come on, put your foot down, dear. I know it's a bit awkward because you're on the slightly slower tyre, but let's just get things sorted here. Tyre temperature should be okay today. It's on the higher side, in the high 20s, so we'll just have to be careful, especially with the softer compound tyre. Don't really want to be burning through that too much. We're going to turn down the engines to high. And we'll turn the tyres down now as well. We're in traffic, so we'll just see what the tyre wear situation's like. And both cars are getting past here. It's at 16th and 17th positions. Sundin is falling away here. This is not. I've got a feeling this is going to be a bad race for us. I don't know why, but things aren't looking good at this moment in time. We don't appear to have good pace. It's going to be a dry race. I'm not confident. I'm not confident. I got to admit. I'm not confident that we're going to get points today. It's going to be a very, very long race of watching us tootle around at the back of the pack. It'd be nice to be able to finish the season on a high, but I'm not looking. It's not looking good at the moment. But we'll see what happens with the pit stops and things. I'm more concerned for Surikov because he has the softer compound tyre, but yet he's struggling to pass. I mean, he is coming in early. He'll get some clear air when he comes in, so should be good. And Sundin making a move. There she goes on Gonzalez, beginning to get into a rhythm now, and Surikov is on the tail as well. Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he comes. Can't quite get past. Go up the inside now. He's got the inside line, and he's not going to make it stick. But we're beginning to come back into this as cars turn their tyres down to conserve and things. This is where we come back into our own, you see. Cars go out at the start of the race like bulls in china shops, burning through tyres and whatever else they do. Sometimes you just got to bide your time. Play your strategy right and turn the dials up when it needs it. But she's going to continue on for 2 more laps. This is his final lap now, so we're going to give him the full mashings as he comes in for his pit stop now. He's going to go on to another set of ultras, and the tyre wear situation was around about 40%, so we should easily be able to do 6 laps on the ultras, so that's not a problem. Considering he's doing 6 laps, we're going to have to give him full fuel, and the park conditions should be fine, and the risk of the pit stop is 27%. So this is completely recalculated now based on the individual components, which is the individuals that are responsible for the various jobs on the pit stop. So Surikov coming in now, and he's been given full power for his in-lap. Can he make use of it? Well, he's certainly making use of it now because he's past Gonzalez, or is he? Looks like he's struggling to pass. So, ooh, come on, come on. 5 cars here, all in close proximity. He's in 18th. This is he's struggling to pass here. That clear air may be useful. Sundin has got 1 more lap to do, and she's just about borderline with the fuel, so we'll just leave her on push for now, but we'll certainly give her full tyre life to finish off. We'll remember to bring her in. We're going to try the ultra soft stint now, and we'll try it for 5 laps to start with and see how that goes. See if you can do a 5 lap stint on the ultras. Sirikov out in last place. And now this is where he just has to get his head down. We'll give him high. We'll give him neutral tyres. And let's just see if he can start to make his way through the field. Bring him in early and see if we can get some form of an undercut going. Sundin up into 12th, that's because people have pitted. She's coming around the last few corners here. The tyres have just been burned through, but it's not a massive issue. And she's now overtaking D'Oster on her in-lap. Nice move. Coming in for the Ultras. Here we go. Pit stop on the move. Here we go. Mistake with the tyre, but it's fine. Timed it nicely. Timed it nicely. Only a 6.8 second stop. Nothing to be concerned with. And she comes out ahead of Sirikov again. Okay, so line astern are the two Phoenix Knights racing cars here. Both on the same strategy in terms of their engines and how they are pushing their tyres. But everybody else on super softs, we are on the softer compound tyre now. So this is where we need to make things happen. This is where we need to make things happen. We're on the softest compound tyres. We've got a performance advantage now over our opponents. Gotta make it work. We are catching the back of this pack, but it's going to be hard to make our way through the field, though. We can't go scything through the field because we ain't quick cars. A couple of cars in the pits. Sundin gets past both of them, and she's up into 13th. It's De Wolf, and I think it was Lundqvist coming out of the pits. Tyre life's looking pretty nice. Looking pretty nice. Can't really complain. I think the tyre wear situation for this race is not too shabby at all. A lot of cars pushing their tyres and pushing them real hard. But the tyre temperatures, we can't really afford to do it. I think next year's chassis we're going to focus on. I think fuel efficiency is not important when you're stopping twice due to the restricted fuel tank. I think the biggest things to focus on are tyre wear and tyre heating for next season. We're not going to go mad because we don't expect to win the championship next season, so we don't want to waste money on a chassis when we don't have the actual parts to put in the chassis. But we do want to be somewhat competitive to be able to pick up some points, so it'll be a bit of a balancing act, but we'll play it by ear. Yeah, 2 more laps for him, 3 more laps for her. It's looking like it's going to be the order of the day here. 14th and 15th, we are 3 seconds behind the points. All the cars in the points, as you can see, are all here, within sight. Some of them conserving their tyres. We are catching the back of the pack. I do like this new feature. You can see quite clearly what's going on to the car in front, and if you are gaining, it goes green. So we can see at a glance whether you're catching the cars in front, and you can see that we are quite clearly catching 13th position. Quite clearly catching. Tyre temperature's now going a little bit high. She's just about going to scrape round. She can do 2 more laps on that percentage of tyre life, I'm sure. This is Sirikov's lap now. This is it. He's coming in for his pit stop on this lap, so he's going to be giving the juice. And he's going to be brought in for his final stint on the Ultras. We're going to fuel him to the end of the race, which is there. The parts are fine. And we're just going to let him go for it. Sundin's got 1 more lap to do after this one. Could ask her to let him through because he's pushing now, but we're just going to let him race. We're just going to let him race. No team orders here. Never has been, never will be. But look at him. He's definitely got the performance advantage now because he's on his in-lap, and is he going to make it work? He is actually passing. Just don't crash. Just don't crash, whatever you do. Shaw Potter is absolutely cringing in his wheelchair here as he sees his 2 drivers getting so close to one another. Just do not... Oh, she's going to struggle to get around here. She's on 28%. Maybe I misjudged the tyre wear. She's going to go a whole lap on red tyres. Aye. Okay, I completely misjudged that. But she will be able to finish the race on ultras though, because she'll be only doing 5 laps, won't she? So, but she's going to take some pain now because her tyres aren't going to really hack this lap at all. Turn her engine up to try and compensate. Sirikov, on the other hand, has got out. We're going to give him an undercut type situation, so we're going to push the tyres and put him in overtake mode for his out lap, in the hope that we can get some kind of an undercut going here. So he's going to make the next couple of laps as fast as possible. Look at that, her tyres are going down so quickly. Her pace has dropped right off, I'm sure. She's going to literally, the tyres are going to burst on her. Her tyres are going to explode. Right, to turn the tyres down. So we've got a load of cars in the pits. Where is Sirikov going to come out in this equation? He's bypassed Sundin. He's up into 16th. The cars ahead of him, he hasn't made it. He hasn't made it. That's a little bit of an issue, to say the very least. If he'd have got ahead of this great big line of cars, we may have been in a position to do something here, but we're stuck behind them now. Frustrating, isn't it? Absolutely frustrating. We're so close, but yet so far away. We've got a couple more cars in the pits though, so we will be making a couple more positions up as we speed down the home straight. We're up into 14th. The points are just within touching distance, but there's nothing we can do about it. As Sundin moves up to 17th, she's having her own private race now. The strategy didn't really help her. We left her on the tyres for too long. But we couldn't stack the cars though, so what could we do? He was underfueled, so he couldn't come in. He couldn't do a lap extra to help Sundin out because he was underfueled. He had to come in that lap due to the fuel situation, so he had to come in. So Sundin had to stay out or stack. The only way to get around it would have been to put her on the harder compound tyre, which at the time when we made this pit stop we wouldn't have known that. So it's just one of those things, unfortunately. But anyway, there's 3 laps to go after this. Well, this including this one. 2 laps after, and it's looking highly unlikely that we're going to be able to pass 3 cars. In fact, no, past 4 cars to get in the points here. The tyre temperatures are high, but there's nothing we can do about it. We don't propose to turn the tyres down into conserve mode at this time. We're just going to have to roll with it. So there we go, the penultimate lap. 14th and 16th. 15th appears to be catching, but not catching quick enough, I wouldn't have thought, to pass us. The engine is feeling down on power. It's not a problem. Not a problem. We've got only 1 lap to do after this. We expected the car condition to be okay for this race. We expected to be able to push, which we have been doing pretty much for the whole race. We've been on high. So but look at the line of cars here. This is right up to 9th are all in a line. If we could just somehow find a way past. 30% tyre life is just going to be able to make it to the end of the race. We can give him both cars as much power as we can possibly give it, in the hope that something may happen. Some minor miracle may happen here, but it's not looking likely. In fact, he seems to be falling away from the pack slightly. Still got cars passing each other in and amongst themselves as they battle and jostle for position here. De Wolf is currently clinging on to the last points paying position, but he has Schmidt all over the back of him, but it's not gonna be to any success because he manages to last out. But in terms of our performance, it looks like Surikov may have been passed by Lundqvist right at the death, and he drops down to 15th. So a 15th and 16th place finish, which underlines the fact that the reason why we've been getting in the points recently is it has been due to variable weather, but we have picked up points when it's been a dry race as well. So it's not just been that, but for whatever reason, we struggled today. Even though we had the 3 ultra soft stints, the softest compound, nobody else, I don't think, managed to stretch the tyres for 3 super soft stints. So Surikov doing very well there, but even so, that still wasn't enough. And for Sundin, we should probably have gone super soft, and the final ultra soft maybe. That would have prevented the issue that we had with her in the second stint with her tyres running down to the rims. But anyway, which way you look at it, we didn't quite have the pace to get in the points today. But on the plus side, I mean, 9th place finished only, what, 3 seconds ahead? Because there was a massive train of cars. So we weren't miles off 9th. It was just the way that the kind of the cookie crumbled. We just couldn't quite get past that train of cars. Because when you've got very evenly matched cars, catching is one thing and passing is quite another, as Murray Walker used to say. And a penalty for Wexler. He moves down 4 places. Broken the rules with one of his parts. Is that so? But it doesn't affect us though. Let's have a look at the championship. Chapman 38 points behind, which means there's only 1 race to go. It's not a double points race, and therefore Becker in the Steinman is going to be the World Motorsport Champion this season. In terms of the constructors, I think it's safe to say that Steinman will also be the constructors' champions as well. So very well done to them. But we're coming for you. You may not think that now, looking at where we are, but consider this, Steinman. We're new to this place, and we're finishing in the mid-tables already. And just so you know, we have the best suspension next season. Just goes to show you the kind of dizzy heights we're aiming for. We'll knock you off your perch soon enough. I'm sure they're quaking in their boots right now. But give us another couple of seasons and you might take us more seriously. Especially when at the end of this season we're going to nick your designer. See who's laughing then. Right, here we go. Let's have a quick look at the driver form. Average form for Sundin, given the past few races, is 7.4, and for Surikov it's 5.8. Despite that, he's finished ahead of Sundin in pretty much every race that I seem to recall. He just needs to pick his form up and he'll be quite dangerous. 1.6 million down the Swanee. Alright, to finish off today's session then, I did say I was going to look at... we've got pit crew issues. Let's have a look very quickly. Yeah, lots of people are beginning to get tired now. Look at that, 7% on the tyres. He's going to have to change with somebody else. This is a complete and utter headache, is this? I mean, it's a simulation game and you want as much detail as possible in terms of managing staff and things. But to me, this addition is just a pain in the backside. And it's increasing the costs of our race weekends as well. Anyway. Reject the interview. Moving on. I wanted to check one last thing before we finish the session, and that is the head-to-head between the two drivers for this season. I know there's one race to go, but yeah, let me have a look now. So the teammate comparison. World Motorsport Championship position. 11th, of course, for Surikov. 12th for Sundin, which of course correlates to the amount of points. So that's kind of given. Season form, her form across the whole season is only 6.5 compared to Sirikov 7.4. So in fact he has been on a decent form. It's just recently that he's dipped a little bit. 1 podium to none. Outqualified 10 times to 5. Super overtake button, of course. And outraced him 4 times, but he's outraced her 11. So she's a qualifier of the two. He's the racer. Where do you pick up points? In the race. Neither have got a race win. So on the head-to-heads, it's 4-7 to Sirikov. Not a walkover, but yeah. Definitely the better driver of the two. Which begs the question, should we perhaps change their statuses and things? But no, I don't think so. Equal status. We don't do second drivers in this team. So join me next time, folks, for the final race of the season. Yes, indeed, we will race in Dubai. Hopefully, maybe pick up some points for the final race of the season. It's only 15 laps, and tyre wear is very low, which means we can definitely maximise our time spent on the soft compound tyres. So that's to look forward to. And then after the race is finished, what we'll do is we'll conclude the season. We'll look at how much prize money we get. We'll look at all that kind of stuff. And I'm debating whether we prepare and design the car for next season and do the staffing now, as in the next session, or do we do that at the start of the next Motorsport Manager week? I'm thinking we do it now. I'm thinking we get the car ready. We see where our car fits and sits in the pack with the new parts and things, and we get right to the start of next season with the car designed and everything. Yeah, I like the sound of that. So join me next time for all of that. It might be a slightly longer session. We've got a race to fit in and some pre-season post and pre-season preparations to do. So yeah, it might be a long one, but it'll be a nice way to finish this current Motorsport Manager week. So until then, I'll see you soon.